But the dollars, whether you're talking about the pension situation in terms of state dollars to go into the pension fund or state dollars for public schools, the state contribution school funding, where would those dollars come from? And are you prepared to say, at this point in time, as we enter the spring of 2017, you know what? We should consider raising taxes on certain people in the state.
Yeah, I think everything's got to be on the table, literally everything. But again, I'd go back to the pension funds. One, I don't want to miss this point. We're throwing hundreds of millions of dollars at hedge funds and private equity funds.
What does that mean? Explain to folks.
Well, these funds, when they first started 30, 40 years ago, were exotic. They were unique. They had their own space, and they charged an arm and a leg. Typically 2% of the money you give me plus 20% of how much I earn. Those are big dollars. In the old days, you got what you paid for. In today's world, you don't. That's hundreds of millions of dollars that we're paying in fees and getting mediocre to poor returns. I wouldn't want to miss that. But I think we've got to turn over every stone, every spending item, every tax potential, big and small. I also think we have to get our priorities straight, honestly. It's a $35 billion budget. It's got a lot of zeros. The book is thick. Your eyes gloss over. But it screams out your priorities. Underfunding the school budget tells me that we're not caring about our kids. Giving out $7 to $8 billion in tax incentives to big corporations tells us the priorities of this administration. We're going to look long and hard at that.
I just want to be clear before we leave this. You are open to the idea of raising taxes on the New Jerseyans who are at the higher end of the income bracket.
You have to be.
You have to be?
Absolutely. This is a state in economic crisis. Everything has to be on the table.
Respectfully, Ambassador, what about those who are in the Business and Industry Association or Chamber of Commerce and others who argue, wait a minute, what about if we lose those folks because they say, you know what, it's too expensive to be here. I'm leaving. I'm going to Florida, wherever.
And we've lost some of them. First of all, I want to be the governor if I get there for those who fought and stayed. Secondly, we have to grow our economy. The big gorilla issue under the Christie administration is a broken economy, one that is neither growing nor fair. And so for the folks who are frustrated and feel like they get painted into a corner, who could blame them? The fact of the matter is we got to grow this state again. We used to be really good at that. We were Silicon Valley before there was a Silicon Valley. We owned the infrastructure economy. We've lost our edge in both. Let's get that back. I believe we can get it back, and I want to do that.
Word Association. I say President.